So dear students, in the last class we have completed the chapter gaseous state. So today we will start a new chapter, atomic structure. So according to Dalton's atomic theory, I told you an atom is the smallest particle of a matter which cannot be subdivided further. So according to atomic theory, what is an atom? An atom is the smallest particle of a matter or a substance which cannot be subdivided further. However, it has been established that an atom can be subdivided further to give the particles which are called subatomic particles. They are also called as fundamental particles of an atom. What are those fundamental particles or subatomic particles? Are protons, neutrons and electrons. So now we have understood that an atom is made up of, or an atom contains protons, neutrons and electrons. So first you write down according to Dalton's atomic theory, an atom is the smallest particle of a matter. An atom is the smallest particle of a matter, which cannot be subdivided further, So according to the Greek nomenclature, atomy means which cannot be subdivided. So the atom, the word atom comes from the Greek word atomy. What is the meaning of atomy? A particle which cannot be subdivided further. So therefore, according to Dalton's atomic theory, an atom is the smallest particle of a substance which cannot be subdivided further. Full stop. However, it has been established that an atom can be subdivided further to give subatomic particles, namely protons, neutrons and electrons. Protons, neutrons and electrons. So in your lower classes, you know discharge tube. So don't write it down. It is a discharge tube in which this is the cathode and this is the anode. This is the cathode and this is the anode. These two electrodes are connected to high voltage DC direct current. So it is high voltage DC current. So this one is negatively charged electrode called cathode, and this is positively charged electrode called anode. So suppose this discharge tube is filled with a gas at very low pressure. Gas at very low pressure, 10 to the power of minus 2 to 10 to the power of minus 4 millimeters of mercury at very low pressure. So to create such a low pressure, here it is vacuum. Vacuum is created to reduce the pressure of the gas. When a gas is subjected to electric discharge at very low pressure and high voltage is applied, what happens? Some invisible rays will enter from cathode to anode, and when these rays strikes the wall of the glass tube, they produces fluorescence. Or if this surface is coated with zinc sulfide, they also produces fluorescence. So these rays are called cathode rays. So this is a gas, any gas, hydrogen, oxygen, chlorine, whatever may be the gas. This is the gas at very low pressure, and this is a discharge tube. This is discharge tube. When a gas at very low pressure in a discharge tube is subjected to a very high voltage, what happens? Invisible rays comes out from cathode to anode. So these rays can be deflected under the influence of an magnetic field. So suppose this is anode and this one is cathode of a magnetic field. So these rays bend towards positively charged positive pole. So this indicates that the rays consist of negatively charged particles, which are called electrons. So similarly, the same experiment is conducted by taking perforated cathode. This is the perforated cathode, means cathode having holes. So now the rays will enter from anode towards cathode, and these rays are bent towards negatively charged plate. So when this gas is hydrogen gas, the particles present in anode rays are called protons. So this is how electrons and protons are detected, and ultimately there is a third particle which is called neutron. It is also detected. So the detection of these protons, neutrons and electrons are not included in your syllabus for this year. Therefore we are not bothering about the detection of protons, neutrons and electrons. So you have to just remember that an atom consists of subatomic particles, or an atom can be divided further into subatomic particles called protons, neutrons and electrons. So next, write down one question. Name the fundamental particles or subatomic subatomic particles of an atom. Full stop. Give their charge and mass. Give their charge and mass. So now write down the subatomic particles. The subatomic particles of an atom are: number 1, protons, in bracket write P. Number 2, neutrons, in bracket write small n. And number 3, electrons, in bracket write E, or it can also be written as E minus. E minus means electrons. So write down in the form of chart. So here it is: particles, symbol, discoverer. So the scientist who discover these particles, discoverer. Relative mass, relative charge, absolute mass, absolute charge, absolute mass and absolute charge. So the first particle is proton. Proton. What is its symbol? P. Who discovered proton? Goldstein. S-T-E-I-N. Goldstein. G-O-L-D. Goldstein. Relative mass is 1 AMU, atomic mass unit. Relative charge is +1. Absolute mass is 1.6726 into 10 to the power of -27 kg. 1.67 into 1.6726 into 10 to the power of -27 kg. Absolute charge plus 1.6022 into 10 to the power of -19. C means coulombs. C means coulombs. So this is about proton. Proton is one of the fundamental particle of an atom. Its symbol is P. Who discovered? Goldstein. The scientist discovered protons. And what is its relative mass? 1 unit of mass and 1 unit of positive charge. Relative charge is +1. Absolute mass is 1.6726 into 10 to the power of -27 kg. And absolute charge is plus 1.6022 into 10 to the power of -19 coulombs. So proton. Number 2, electron. Proton, electron. Symbol is E or E minus. E or E minus. Who discovered electron? J.J. Thomson. J.J. Thomson discovered electron. What is its relative mass? So it is of negligible mass. Relative charge -1. What is its absolute mass? Absolute mass is 9.109 into 10 to the power of -31 kg. It is very, very, very small. What is its absolute charge? Minus 1.6022 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulombs. So this is about electron. So and then the last subatomic particle is neutron. So what is its symbol? Small n. So who discovered? James Chadwick. Chadwick. James Chadwick discovered neutrons. What is its relative mass? 1 atomic mass unit. So what is its relative charge? So neutrons are chargeless, 0. So what is its absolute mass? 1.6749 into 10 to the power of minus 27 kg. So it is almost nearer to the weight of the proton. Weight of proton and weight of neutrons are almost same. The charge of proton and charge of electrons are almost same. Here it is positive, here it is negative. So what is the absolute charge of neutron? So it is 0. So this is about the fundamental particles. What are the fundamental particles? Proton, neutrons and electrons are the fundamental particles, are the subatomic particles of an atom. So now atomic models. What are atomic models? Now we know that an atom consists of protons, neutrons and electrons. So how these particles are distributed in the atom, or how these particles are distributed in or arranged in an atom, is nothing but the atomic model or atomic structure. So different scientists have put forward different models for the structure of an atom. So we will have some ideas regarding the old history of atomic structures. So what are atomic models? Different atomic models have been proposed for the distribution or arrangement of different atomic models have been proposed for the distribution or arrangement of subatomic particles, namely protons, neutrons and electrons in an atom. So we will have the first model, namely Thomson model of an atom. Thomson model of an atom. This model is called ricin pudding. Ricin pudding or watermelon. Ricin pudding or watermelon model. So ricin pudding or watermelon model. So according to this model, so how these protons, neutrons and electrons are distributed or arranged in an atom has been put forward by so many scientists. So those ideas are called atomic models. The first model, how the atom is constructed, was put forward by Thomson. So his model is called ricin pudding model or watermelon model. So according to his model, an atom is spherical in shape. So an atom is spherical in shape, in which the positive charges are distributed throughout. The positive charges are distributed uniformly throughout, and the electrons are embedded in this space such that it forms a stable electrostatic arrangement. So this is the atom and this is the positive charge. Here positive charge is nothing but protons. Protons are distributed uniformly throughout the atom, and these are the electrons which are embedded in this positive charge such that it forms a stable electrostatic arrangement. So ಇದು ಯಾವ ಥರ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ರೈಸಿನ್ ಪುಡ್ಡಿಂಗ್, ನಾವು ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪುಡ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಥವಾ ಖೀರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಒಂದು ರೌಂಡ್ ವೆಸಲ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಖೀರ್ ಇಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಣ ದ್ರಾಕ್ಷಿಗಳನ್ನು ಹಾಕಿದರೆ, ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಒಣ ದ್ರಾಕ್ಷಿನ ನಾವು ರೈಸಿನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಡ್ರೈಡ್ ಗ್ರೇಪ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ರೈಸಿನ್ ವಿಚ್ ಆರ್ ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಡ್ ಇನ್ ಪುಡ್ಡಿಂಗ್ಸ್. ಅಥವಾ ವಾಟರ್ ಮಿಲಾನ್ ಫ್ರೂಟನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಸೊ ಈ ಥರ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾವ ಥರ? ಈ ರೆಡ್ ಪೋರ್ಷನನ್ನೆಲ್ಲೂ ನಾವು ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಅಥವಾ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರೋಟಾನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೆದ್ರೆ, ಆ ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಸೀಡ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ದ ಆಟಮ್ ಈಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿ ಕಟ್ ಪೋರ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಎ ವಾಟರ್ ಮಿಲಾನ್, ಆ ಥರ ಇದೆ. ಅಥವಾ ರೈಸಿನ್ ಪುಡ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಥರ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಜೇಮ್ಸ್ ಥಾಮ್ಸನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. ಸೊ according to Thomson, what is the structure of an atom? Atom is spherical in shape. The positive charge is distributed uniformly throughout, and the electrons are embedded in this positive charge such that it forms a stable electrostatic arrangement. And also he told that the mass is also uniformly distributed throughout this atom. So this is the model. So according to this model, number 1, an atom is spherical in shape. Atom is spherical in shape. Number 2, positive charges means protons are uniformly distributed throughout, and electrons are embedded. Electrons are embedded in it such that a stable electrostatic arrangement is obtained. ಸೊ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ ಆಟಮು ಸ್ಪೆರಿಕಲ್ ಶೇಪಲ್ಲಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದ್ರ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜು ಯೂನಿಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಗಿ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಗಳಿರ್ತವೆ ಈ ರೀತಿ. ಸಚ್ ದಟ್ ದಿ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ದಿ ಆಟಮ್ ಈಸ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕಲಿ ನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಲ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. And also the mass of the atom is distributed throughout the body. So third one, the mass of the atom is also distributed uniformly throughout. ಸೊ ಮಾಸನ್ನು ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆನೂ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ಸು ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ಸು ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಎಂಬೆಡ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತವೆ. ಸೊ ಅದು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಇಟ್ ಲುಕ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ರೈಸನ್ ಪುಡಿಂಗ್ ಥರ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅಥವಾ ಕಟ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಮಿಲಾನ್ ಥರ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ. ದೇರ್ ಫೋರ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ರೈಸನ್ ಪುಡಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಮಿಲಾನ್ ಮಾಡೆಲ್. So this is Thomson model. What is the drawback of this model? So this is very good old model of an atom. So it explains electrical neutrality, but it cannot explain the stability of the atom, and it cannot explain the Rutherford deflection of positive rays. So it cannot explain Rutherford scattering. So these are the drawbacks. Cannot explain Rutherford scattering. So what are the limitations of the model? Which model? Thomson model. Number 1, it cannot explain the stability. Atoms are stable, is it not? So it cannot explain how the atoms are stable. It cannot explain the stability of the atom, and also it cannot explain the Rutherford scattering experiment. So therefore his model was discarded. Later on, Rutherford conducted an alpha-ray scattering experiment. All these are not included in your syllabus. So for your sake, I will tell you. So Rutherford passed are bombarded alpha rays. Alpha rays consists of alpha particles. So you know what are alpha rays, beta rays, gamma rays. So these are the radiations which are emitting from a radioactive substances. For example, radium, uranium, etc. They emit instantaneously or spontaneously some rays, invisible rays called radioactive rays. When these radioactive rays are subjected to magnetic field or electric field, some rays will bend towards cathode called alpha rays. Some rays bend towards anode are called beta rays. Some rays goes without any deflection called gamma rays. So alpha rays carries positive charges, 2 units of positive charges and 4 units of mass called alpha particles. So they are nothing but helium ion. Helium ion. Beta rays consist of negatively charged particles. They are nothing but electrons, and gamma rays goes without any deflection. They do not contain any charges. So when these alpha particles or alpha rays are passed through, this is a gold foil, or suppose this is an atom of gold. So some rays goes without any deflections. Some rays goes without any deflection. Some rays goes deflection like this, and some rays reflected back. Some rays reflected back. So these are alpha rays. When passed through a thin gold foil, what happens? Majority of the rays goes without any deflection. Majority of the rays goes without any deflection, and some rays bend like this, goes with deflection, and 1 in 2000 rays reflects back. So this suggests that at the center of the atom there is a positively charged portion which is called nucleus. So Rutherford, after conducting this alpha ray scattering experiment, he come to the conclusion that at the center of the atom there is a positively charged portion called nucleus, and the entire mass of the atom concentrated on this nucleus. The remaining portion is almost empty. The remaining portion of the atom is almost empty. Therefore, all the rays passes without any deflection. Since alpha particles carry positive charges, positive charge get reflected, so they will bend like this. So the particle which falls exactly at the center of the nucleus rebounds back. That means the size of the nucleus is very small when compared with the size of the atom. Therefore, since most of the space is empty, most of the rays pass out, whereas very small number of alpha rays, 1 in 2000, reflects back. So then he come to the conclusion that an atom consists of 2 portions. The central portion called nucleus, the portion outside the nucleus. So the size of the atom is very small when compared with the size of the atom. Then we will come to the second model called Rutherford model of an atom. So second model, which is called Rutherford model, Rutherford model of an atom. All these are not included in your syllabus, but without this information we cannot move on. Therefore, I am giving some information regarding models of atom. Rutherford model of an atom. This model is called solar system model. Solar system model. So, what are the, according to this model, how an atom is constructed, or how the protons, neutrons and electrons are distributed in an atom. So, let us study one by one. So, according to this model, which is this model is called Rutherford model. According to this model, number one, an atom is divided into two portions. Number one, central nucleus, and number two, the space outside the nucleus. So, according to this model, this is the atom. So, this central portion is called nucleus, and this is space outside the nucleus. So, an atom is divided into two portions. This central portion called nucleus, the space outside the nucleus is called space outside the nucleus. Number two, the nucleus is heavy. Heavy means ಭಾರವಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. Nucleus is heavy and contains protons and neutrons. So, protons ಮತ್ತೆ neutrons ಎಲ್ಲಿರುತ್ತೆ? ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ protons plus neutrons ಇರುತ್ತೆ. The nucleus is heavy and contains protons and neutrons. Number 3, the volume of the nucleus is very small. The volume of the nucleus is very small when compared with the volume of the atom. So, the size of the nucleus or the volume of the nucleus is very small when compared with the size of the atom. So, fourth one, the entire mass of the atom is concentrated in the nucleus. So, ಇಡೀ ಆಟಮಿನ ತೂಕ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ? ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಉಳಿದ ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ತೂಕ ಇರಲ್ಲ. All the mass is due to mass of the nucleus. This is fourth one. Fifth one, the electrons are present in the space outside the nucleus. So, electrons are present in the space outside the nucleus. So these are electrons are present in the space outside the nucleus. Fifth one. Sixth one. The number of protons in the nucleus is equal to the number of electrons outside. The number of protons in the nucleus is equal to number of electrons outside the nucleus. Outside and hence the atom is electrically neutral. So protons carry positive charges and electrons carry negative charges. Protons carry positive charges and electrons carry negative charges. The number of protons is equal to number of electrons. Therefore, number of positive charges is equal to number of negative charges in an atom. Therefore, an atom is electrically neutral. So, and lastly, the electrons revolve round the nucleus. The electrons revolve around the nucleus. ಈ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Electrons will revolve around the nucleus like the planets revolve around the sun. The electrons revolve around the nucleus like the planets revolve around the sun. So suppose this is the nucleus. The electrons revolve around the nucleus. So there is an attraction between positively charged nucleus and electron, is it not? So since there is an attraction between positively charged nucleus and electrons, the electrons will come and go into the nucleus. But due to the centrifugal force, ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸು ರೊಟೇಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಮೂವಿಂಗ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಯಾವ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ? ಸೆಂಟ್ರಿಫ್ಯೂಗಲ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೆಂಟ್ರಿಫ್ಯೂಗಲ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್. ಈ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಿಫ್ಯೂಗಲ್ ಫೋರ್ಸು ಈ ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಫೋರ್ಸನ್ನು ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ? ಓವರ್ಕಮ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ದ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಿಫ್ಯೂಗಲ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಓವರ್ಕಮ್ಸ್ the attractive force between the nucleus and the electron. So this keeps the electron in a particular orbit. So this is the seventh postulate. The electrons revolve around the nucleus in an orbit. Like the planets revolve around the sun. Therefore it is called solar system model. Continue ಮಾಡಿ. The centrifugal force of the electron. The centrifugal force of the electron overcomes the attractive force of the nucleus and keeps the electron in the orbit. So this is how the atom is constructed according to Rutherford model of an atom. So Rutherford model ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಒಂದು ಆಟಮನ್ನು ಎರಡು ಪೋರ್ಷನ್ ಆಗಿ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾನೆ. ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಪೋರ್ಷನ್ನು ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ಲಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ಡ್ ಪೋರ್ಷನ್, ಅದನ್ನು ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾನೆ. ದ ರಿಮೈನಿಂಗ್ ಪೋರ್ಷನ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ದ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡ್ ದ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಎರಡು ಪೋರ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಸೊ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಹೆವಿ and all the protons and neutrons are present in the nucleus anta ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. The size of the nucleus is very small when compared with the size of the atom. All the mass of the atom will concentrated in this nucleus anta ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. Next, number of protons in the nucleus is equal to number of electrons outside the nucleus. So electrons will revolve around the nucleus in a space outside the nucleus. So the centrifugal force of the electron counterbalances the attractive force between the nucleus and the electrons. Therefore, this keeps the electron move in a particular orbit. So this is the model proposed by Rutherford. So what is the drawback of this model also? This model also cannot explain the complete property of an atom. So it cannot explain the stability of the atom. It cannot explain the atomic spectra of atoms. You will know what is atomic spectra later on. It cannot explain how the electrons are placed in different orbits. Different orbits ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ different shells ಅಲ್ಲಿ electrons ಅನ್ನು place ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದನ್ನ explain ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಇದ್ರ ಕೈನಲ್ಲಿ. And also, so these are some of the drawbacks. So write down the drawbacks or limitations. Drawbacks or limitations of the model Number 1, it cannot explain the stability of the atom. Number 2, it cannot explain the atomic spectra of elements. And number 3, it cannot explain the arrangement of electrons in different orbits. The arrangement of electrons in different orbits. So he simply told that electrons will revolve around the nucleus like planets revolve around the sun. But later on it has been come to our mind that electrons are revolve around the nucleus in different levels. Depending upon the energy of the electrons, they revolve around the nucleus in different levels. They are called energy levels or orbits or shells. And finally, fourth drawback. So according to Rutherford, suppose this is the nucleus, it is positively charged, the electron will revolve around the nucleus. So according to classical mechanics, an electron moving in an orbit will continuously lose the energy and follow the spiral path. A charged particle like electron, when it is moving continuously, it loses the energy, follow the circular path, and one day it will enter into the nucleus, and the atom becomes unstable. But this is not happening, therefore this model fails. So fourth one, according to classical mechanics, comma, a revolving electron should continuously lose energy, comma, follow spiral path ಅಂದರೆ ಆರ್ಬಿಟಲ್ಲೇ ಒಂದೇ ಆರ್ಬಿಟಲ್ಲೇ ರಿವಾಲ್ವ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರಲ್ಲ, ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಕಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅದೇನಾಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆರ್ಬಿಟಿನ ಸೈಜ್ ಚಿಕ್ಕದಾಗ್ತಾ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಫೈನಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಎಂಟರ್ ಇಂಟು the nucleus and the atom becomes unstable, but that is not happening. According to this model, the electron should follow this type of rotation, but it is not happening. Continuously lose energy, comma, follow spiral path and get into the nucleus and the atom becomes unstable, but atoms are still stable. So this is some of the drawbacks of Rutherford model, some of the drawbacks. Understood? So I have explained two models. One is Thomson model, another one is Rutherford model. Both these models will not be asked in the examination, but for our continuation, you have to understand what and how an atom is made up of. Subatomic particles, how the subatomic particles, namely protons, neutrons and electrons, are arranged in an atom. So this is enough for today and we will continue tomorrow. Okay.